famous Oriental Rabbonim. And over here, it's the Hilula here on Chavtet Adar Bet of a great rabbi. Family originally was from Morocco. He was from Israel. He was actually going to be of Din of Tiberius. His name was Rabbi Meir Vaknin Z'tl. He was born in English year 1885 and passed away in the English year 1975. He was actually born on Zayin Adar, which and passed away on Chavtet Adar Bet in the year Taf Shin Lamet Hey. So he was actually born in Tiberius in Israel. He was born over there. Very, very great. His actual father, he came from very great heritage. His father was Rabbi David Vaknin, who was of Din, also of the Sephardi community inside the city. And according to his family tradition, his family is attributed to the famous rabbi, very, very great rabbi of the name Rabbi Yosef ibn Aknin, also, who was one of the great rabbis from Fez. Fez naturally is in the country of Morocco. He was, and I believe it was in the year Taf Reish Samach Gimel. He actually, in that specific year, that the Hebrew year, naturally, he got engaged to the daughter of Rabbi Menashe Chamvi, who was one of the great rabbis of Tiberius. Also, he married his wife. Rabbanit Yael, who was the daughter of Rabbi Menashe Chamvi, who was naturally a very, very great rabbi. And I think he was around the age of 26 in the year 1911. He was sent by the great rabbis of Tiberius as in a specific role to go to different Jewish communities in Europe, I believe, as a shadar over there to obviously he would lecture, strengthen the different great the people of those different communities outside of Israel at the time, and also help with in regards to fundraising and developing the various different yeshivot. And he went, I think he went to many different countries, very, very well traveled in Europe. And I believe it was in the year 1914. It's one of the places where I believe he, one of the foundations he did raise money for, was for the Kollel Rabbi Meir Bal Hanes, which was very, very, very great kollel, very famous kollel, also inside Israel. And I believe in the year 1914, he actually went to visit Brooklyn. He went on a shlichut over there in New York, naturally in America. I believe this was at around the time period of the First World War. So it's actually because of the First World War, he had to stay there for several years and was unfortunately separated from his family at that point in time. And he served as the chief rabbi of the Sephardic community in that specific place. I believe in Arom Tzova. He actually went, I think, also traveled while he went to America. He had. In his way, then he went actually to Arom Tzova and served as a chief rabbi for a period of time over there. And I think he also helped in establishing the place, a place called today the Magen, an institution. I will say the Magen David, which is a great institution also. So he actually was appointed the Rav Rashi of it was of Kihilat Arom Tzova, and also of I believe of the Chalabi community over there, and also of Magen David also. It's actually quite interesting. This was, as I stated before, in the year 1914, and I think at the time in America it wasn't. There was, within regards to Shabbat observance in the community itself, there was it wasn't that strong, the observance at the time inside the synagogues. People might have been traveling, not necessarily. It wasn't at a very, very high level of observance as it is nowadays, and that obviously devastated him. And he actually, he actually really pushed the community to great limits and to improve the community a lot at that stage in time, because I think there was different challenges in New York, which is widely reported over, especially in the early 1900s, where many people felt they had to work on Shabbat naturally, which is not allowed. So that really that was really difficult time period at that point in time. But nonetheless, he did strengthen the community a lot with regards to Torah and all of those important things. I think in the city was founded at the time Talmud Torah, the Sha'arei Tzedek, also, which had a lot of great rabbanim coming from this specific thing, and also the Gudat Achim v'Achiezer Damasek, also, which was I think established in those places specifically. And other things could be added within regards to this. Yeah, it was, I think in that time period, there was a lot of challenges in America and all throughout the different countries at that stage in time. And then later on, I believe in the year Tafresh Pei, in the year 1920, he went back to Israel. He moved back to Tiberius at the time. Tiberius, naturally one of the 4 holy cities in Israel, as well as Hebron, Tzfat, and Yerushalayim. Naturally, so he went back over there in the year 1920, it was, over there, and he worked for various establishments, setting up the various Talmud Torahs inside the city, and I believe he was helping his father-in-law, at time Rabbi Raphael Bibas, also, and who was also a great judge in the city. This is a great Chacham. Hopefully we'll cover in another specific video about the great Chacham also. This was, I believe, I think it was in the year 1930 also, he was at a prominent position in the Bet Din of the Sephardi Bet Din in Tiberius. Also, he was appointed into, this was obviously several years later, and then that was at the time, I think he was working underneath Rabbi Yaakov Chai Zurichen, who I did a video on nearly about 2 years ago, I think 18 months ago or something like that, 20 months ago also. And after the passing of the great Rabbi Harav Zurichen, I believe this was around the year 1953, he was actually appointed the rabbi of the city of Tiberius and the head of the Bet Din court over there, naturally. Also, that was in the year 1953, that would have been over there. And it's actually very interesting that he became very famous inside the city itself for his great chassidut over there, and was known for raising a lot of money for charity, opening a lot of different charity funds and charity institutions, and helping many of the people over there. He was head of the kollel of the Rabbi Meir Vaknin also, and established a yeshiva in Tiberius. Also, it was actually done with the help of Rabbi of the great philanthropist Rabbi Yitzchak Shalom. Also, I believe the name of the yeshiva, which was actually established over there, there was the name of the yeshiva at that point in time was I'll just check it out now. Meir Bat Ayin, it was, and I think it was actually near the actual kever itself of Rabbi Meir Vaknin. Also, it was, and I think it's still very much flourishing even in modern day, if I'm not mistaken. Also, and he passed away in the year 1975, so he would have been around the age of 90. Over there, there were many great rabbanim that were in his funeral, including Rabbi Ovadia Yosef, who was the chief rabbi in Israel, I believe in the 1980s. That would have been just several years later. There was other. What's interesting, actually, he had many great students also, including Rabbi Shabtai Ben Chaim also. And also another great rabbi that was among his elite students, which he had many great students also, was Rabbi Yitzchak Barada also. And there was many great rabbis that actually came from him, from the great rabbi himself. And what's interesting is, after he passed away in 1975, he passed away. He wrote some very colossal Torah books. Also, let's go through it. The Vayomer Meir Chelek Aleph, which was a Nitfas L'Shana B'Shnat Tafresh Tzadik Tet. This was a sefer which got many great haskamot from many of the great rabbanim of his generation at that point in time. I think including Rabbi Ben Zion Meir Chai Uziel, also among the great rabbanim, and also Rabbi Yitzchak Isaac Halevi Herzog, also, which were great prestigious rabbanim in Israel. Another book that he authored, was Vayomer Meir Chelek Bet, which was, I believe, printed in the Tafshin Chavchet, and also Zichron Meir, which was Droshot Hespedim, I think, on in 3 different parts, 3 different volumes. That was, and it was this was actually published after he had passed away, if I'm not mistaken. Also, so let's go through his family also. many great descendants came from him, and many from the chain of command. One of his sons was Rabbi Menashe Vaknin, who was, I think, appointed a rabbi in the neighborhood of Tiberius, and which is very, very interesting. Also, very had a great position in the mostot of Rabbi Meir Vaknin. And another one of his sons was Rabbi Harav Pinchas Vaknin, also, who was who taught many students in Yerushalayim also, and I think he was also involved in the famous Yeshivat Bet El, which is great Kabbalist yeshiva, which I've spoken about. Also, one of his chatans, Rabbi Shlomo Yaluz, who I believe I have spoken about before. We must potentially, Be'ezer Hashem, do a video on the great rabbi who passed away in 1984. That was one of his son-in-laws. Rabbi David Shlush was also, I believe, another one of his son-in-laws who was had a prominent position in a Bet Din, and I believe he was rabbi of the city of Netanya also, if I'm not mistaken. That's another great rabbi there was. And also Harav Chaim David Alevi, who became the rabbi of Tel Aviv, the city of Tel Aviv also, which is also very important to relate over. And he passed away in 1975. So we're talking about 49 years ago, nearly 50 years ago, since his passing. It was a former chief rabbi of Tiberius, very good rabbi that was very well traveled in Europe, who served in a position for, I believe, 6 years in New York, started did a lot of kiruv over there, strengthened the community in America, did a lot of great things. And it's his Hilula. Please don't forget to light candles in the great rabbi's memory. And please watch over all the previous videos I've done in this series. Over here, we've covered about 165 rabbis. And please light candles, and it's important to share to other people, to teach other people, research upon these. There's some excellent books on the great Sephardi rabbanim. Also, I very much recommend everyone to search for it, buy them, and to learn more about it. And let's teach other people in our institutions, and share the words from Yesiyah of the great rabbanim. So, wishing you all a meaningful day, and I hope this was thought-provoking and informative also. And please check more information on him online and everything else. Take care. Have a great day.